Good evening, everyone. On behalf of English Without Borders, I am delighted to welcome you to our weekly Thursday webinar series. I'm pleased to see so many of our followers joining us today at 6 p.m. Tajikistan time via Facebook and Zoom. Today's webinar will focus on the topic microlearning and the effectiveness of your lesson. And our speaker will share her insights on microlearning and effectiveness of your lesson and provides practical tips for you, dear audience. Before giving the floor to our 100th speaker, I would like to introduce her to you. Marwa Mansour, born in Egypt, Cairo, is an English language educator. She pursued her business studies at Ain Shams University before shifting her career trajectory to follow her passion for teaching and learning English. To fulfill her dream, she enrolled at Cambridge University. In 2004, she embarked on her teaching journey in Saudi Arabia and has held various positions in private schools across multiple countries. Her roles have included English teacher, head of the English department, academic manager, CIE exam officer, Cambridge coordinator, and school principal. Marwa has actively participated in several training programs focused on English teaching, teacher training, evaluation and assessment, and preparation for accreditation, AIAA Advanced Cambridge IB. She also volunteered at TESOL, Saudi Arabia for 2 years. Marwa academics pursuits include literature, management, leadership, and training. She holds a master's degree in English education from Indonesia. Additionally, she hosts a podcasts on Instagram called @teaching.cycle. Currently, Marwa serves as CEO of Oxford, Tajikistan, school in Tajikistan. So, dear audience, thank you for joining. And now let's give the floor to our 100th speaker, Ms. Marwa. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Gulnora, for this nice introduction. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's not our first time to meet. Happy to see all of you here. Happy to feel that spirit of the English teachers at the end of the day. After all that tiring day, we are here together just to exchange knowledge and to learn from each other. Thanks to EWB for giving us this chance. You are great people working there, and you are giving a wonderful chance to all the teachers in Tajikistan and in different places to reach different information and to improve themselves. Thank you, Ms. Gulnora. Okay, let's start immediately. We have very limited time. I would like to share the screen first with you. And here we go. So first, let's start by microlearning. Actually, we had a meeting before with the EWB regarding microlearning. And we discussed microlearning, what is the difficulties, and what are the difficulties, and what are the easy way to follow the microlearning in your class. But I believe maybe some people were not attending. So let's go over microlearning in a quick way. And after that, we will apply it together as teachers together. And after that, we can apply it in our classes. So first of all, as you see in the photo in front of you, we have two photos here. The first one, as you see, we have an apple, and someone is biting from this apple every time. And we have another photo here. So please write in the comment or in the chat box. So what do you think, according to this photo, what microlearning is? Tell me your opinion. What do you think here? I have an apple. I'm biting it all the time. So what that might mean to you? I'm waiting for some answers. Learning little by little. Yes, thank you, Mr. Alishar. What else do we have, guys? Okay. Learning step by step, Exactly. So here we go. Chunks, immediate. Yes, amazing. Okay, so this is how it goes. We can't eat all our plate at one time. We can't carry a heavy thing at one time. So exactly as you see in the photo here, it is better for us to bite our food one by one. It's exactly like knowledge. It is better to acquire the knowledge bit by bit. But what happens with us as teachers is that we are planning big chunks in one lesson, and the result is our students forget that quickly, or they don't have the chance to practice it, or they absorb maybe 20% of that knowledge and they go out of the class without the other 80%. So microlearning is a way that helps you to give or bring the knowledge in your class as bit by bit or slowly to your students so that they can acquire or absorb all the knowledge you are explaining to them. Yes. Yes, we need it. Yes, we need it in our classes because it is really effective, and we will see that now. Okay. Our last meeting with EWB, we discussed together academic writing, which is a challenging topic for most of the English teachers. And we discussed the microlearning in last summer, in August. So today I thought about taking both topics and mix them in a blender just to practice together a little bit. How to use microlearning if I am teaching writing, okay? We discussed also the last time about writing and how challenging it is inside the class, and we discussed many ways to apply it from primary till high school. Today, I will, let's be in the middle. Let's discuss middle school students, grade 7, 8, something like that, or if you are teaching, it can be students at the level of A2, B1, something like that, and you wanted to teach them academic writing. From last time, we have many types of essays. One essay or type is the opinion essay, and it is very common, especially when you are taking the IELTS exam or the TOEFL exam, or even before, not now, it wasn't the SAT exam and all these exams, like international exams, they ask you to write an opinion essay. So let's learn together as teachers now how to write an opinion essay using micro steps and how to convey that to our classes and to our students. Let's start now by step 1. By the way, I would like to show you my platform that I'm using now. I am not using a tablet or anything. It's a normal computer, a normal laptop, but I am using this board. If you can look at the website here, miro.com. It's a very nice whiteboard and it is for free, and I always use it in my online lessons and really effective. I will show you all the features while we are working together. So here, let's start. Step 1. What do you think would be step 1 when you are teaching rubrics, when you are teaching the writing? As we said the last time, in writing, like, so here of what is demanded from me to write the opinion essay. I need to see the way. I shouldn't go blind. Like we are the Okay, can you hear me, everyone? Please write yes or no in the chat box.
Now we can hear you, yes.
Okay, so I hope we reach it to the point of the rubric. Did you hear everything until that?
We heard some of it, but not all of what you said about the rubric. Some of your phrases
That point.
cut.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Yes, dear. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I changed my location. I hope it is better. And sorry for everyone. I turned off the camera just not to affect the quality of the internet. So back to our topic here. We start writing our essay by learning the rubric. When you learn the rubric, you know exactly where are you going. You know exactly what is demanded from you. So here, when we start by the rubric, for example, as you see, we start by the introduction. You see the 5 parts we have, or criteria, let's say. We have the introduction, then we have supporting evidence, then we have conclusion, and or it can be effective, 3 marks, or developing, or ineffective. And inside each part, we have what should be there in each part of this. I will take one example, and I will leave the others for you to go over it. For example, the introduction. Is it highly effective? Yes, it is highly effective when the introductory paragraph expresses an opinion and has 3 strong reasons. So this is highly effective. What time would I say that it is ineffective? When there is an opinion, 2 or 3 reasons missing. So I hope you are following. So this is the rubric. This is part 1. Okay, please write in the chat box, have you used rubrics before with your students or not? Yes or no? Classroom. Good. I see yes. Wonderful. Okay, so let me introduce this website for you. That website is called iRubric, as you see it. It's a free website again, and you can find any rubric you need here. You also can build your own rubric. If you are working on a special thing with your students, you can build your rubric. For example, if I say that I need cause and effect essay, my students are writing cause and effect essay, and I need a rubric for that. I just write it here and I search. And immediately I can find here tons of rubrics. Here, you can open any one of them that you would like. And here, and it has only 4 criteria. You can use that with your students who are young, but if you need one more, which is really advanced for advanced students, you can also find there. Okay. So here we go. Now I know the rubric. I understood everything about it, and I need to start writing my essay. First of all, we need to look at the prompt. This is a very important part when you are writing an essay. The prompt here says, salary or job satisfaction. Let's see, dear teachers, what do you prefer? Or what would make you change your mind? Big salary in a school or nice job satisfaction? You can see here. Write in the chat box, please. Salary or satisfaction, the environment. Okay, I have one, of course, but I don't know to what. Is it salary? I think many people would say salary, I believe. Write to the chat box, please. Salary or job satisfaction? Okay, we have a nice answer here. Okay, Mr. Alishar, we need to pick one of them, not both. Salary or job satisfaction? One, only one. Okay, job satisfaction. Okay, good. I'm happy to hear so. Okay. Yeah, now you are clear. Salary. Okay, yes. Again, job satisfaction and the environment. Job satisfaction. Great. So we have most of the teachers answered that job satisfaction is more important to them than the high salary. Let's look at the prompt here. By the way, this is an authentic prompt from one of the IELTS exams. The prompt says, a big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? Give reasons for answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. Let's pay attention first to the prompt itself. Most of the students, or even us as adults, when we have this exam, we misunderstand the prompt and we answer in a wrong way. So the prompt here is focusing on the big salary and that it is more important than the job satisfaction. So it looks in our group today that we almost disagree on that. So that would be our main introduction or main opinion, that we disagree on that sentence. Okay, so here we go. Now we took our decision and we know that all of us, we disagree on that. This is a nice step. So now we are in step 2. Let's go to step 3 together. We need to tell the people who are going to read our essay, why do we disagree with this sentence? One of the very nice features here is using these, for example, sticky notes and so on. And here you can use a mind map. I will choose one of the mind maps here. This one, let's say. And I will tell him add to board. So here we go. This is my mind map. Let's think together. So here we are. We disagree, right? I will write here that we disagree. Let's find the reasons together. Why do you disagree? Some people would say money is not everything, right? Or some people would say, I don't know, work environment is affecting my psychological issues. I don't know. Or some people would say that if I am happy at work, I would be happy at home. Some people would say, I am not working for the money. I am rich enough. I just go to work, I don't know, just to be effective in the community. Some other people would say, whatever the reasons. You can start creating some reasons, please. Why do you disagree with this sentence? Why do you love a better job environment? Why do you like to be satisfied at your job more than having a high salary? Some people prefer appreciation. Some people prefer the good word, even the smile, right? Okay, I see that people are quite lazy at the evening. Okay, so here we would put all the ideas we want to discuss together. So let's say that, for example, it keeps me healthy if I have a better style or a better environment in my work. Some people would say, I like to make friends at work, for example. Some people would say, we spend half of our lives there, right? I don't know. Some people would say that it affects my home. If I am in a bad mood at work, that can affect my family and affects my home. Some people would say, I don't need money, and a lot of reasons that can show up here. The most important part when we are doing the brainstorming is that after you finish that brainstorming, you need to pick only 2 ideas, because we are writing an essay of 250 words. If it is a bigger essay, you can pick like 3 ideas or something. Okay, so we need to pick only 2 ideas and to focus on them. So let's say, for example, I will pick the idea that the good environment at work, it keeps me healthy. I am not stressed, I'm not sick all the time. And let's take, for example, make friends. Like when I am working in a good environment, I can make good friends. I would feel like with family, blah, blah. So these 2 ideas, we will take them and we will focus on them. Okay, so we have now 2 ideas. I will write them here. Sorry, I will write them here with writing the paragraph. Let me make this smaller. With writing the paragraph here, I will put my 2 ideas. The first idea would be healthy. The second idea will be, let's say, make friends. Okay, so here we go. We have 2 ideas now. Fine. Let me go here back again. We finished the brainstorming and we need to write an introduction. How can I write an introduction? If you are writing an essay, you need to write an introduction. That introduction needs to be interested and hooking. So these are the criteria of the hooking introduction. It can be an interesting question. It can be a statement or a declaration, as we see. It can be a fact or a statistics. It can be a metaphor. It can be a story. It can be a description. It can be a quotation. So now let's start, guys, and one by one, think about an introduction that you can write about your opinion, that job satisfaction is more important to me than the salary. Think about it. How to succeed with low salary? I don't know. This is your opinion. This is your... He was very rich but died at 40. Amazing start. That's a wonderful one, Zuru. Thank you so much. Okay. This is like a quotation. Okay. That's a deadline. Okay. Try to work up your mind, guys. So if we start like this. Everyone, I pushed your nerve, looks like, right? Everyone is coming back from work and you are all tired and everyone is happy with the topic that more money maybe would go better than the environment. Okay, guys, help me having a hooking introduction here. Okay. So let's start here. He was very rich, but died at 40. Okay. So here we go. If you see an essay and it starts with this sentence, I believe you would like, or you would be curious to go on and to read what's happening by the end of this essay. You would be curious to see what are these people talking about. Okay, this one is also nice. Denzel Washington, nice. He loves children and work with them. Okay, nice. You started like it is a story or something. Okay, I will receive all the questions or all the things at the end. Let's just finish, and after that we can discuss all the problems you have faced. Okay, so here we go. We started now by this quotation. Let's say, when you are completing your introduction or your paragraph, introductory paragraph, you need to go back a little bit to the prompt. And from the prompt, you can rewrite whatever is written in the prompt to serve your introduction. For example, here is written, a big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. So you can start by this. He was very rich but died at 40. Some people believe that big salary is more important than job satisfaction. Others believe that to be happy at work is better than having big salary. For example, you can start like that. Or you can say, some people believe that big salary is more important than job satisfaction. In my opinion, I believe that job satisfaction is more important. So here you are writing about your own opinion and you are writing about the opposites. So if we just go here, you can just add this sentence. Of course, we will face some. Okay, we can say that some people believe that, I don't know, let's not waste the time by writing, but it would go like that. Some people believe that salaries are more important than job satisfaction, but in my opinion, I believe that job satisfaction is more important to me for many reasons. So this essay is going to discuss these reasons. You can write like this. So after you write, of course, if you want to practice more on that, in my opinion, you need to write more than one introduction, not only one, but maybe 2, 3, or 4. And after that, you pick the best one that you really like, or maybe you can take the opinion of some people else. If you are following the microlearning in your class, you can spend a whole lesson only writing the introduction. And if you wanted to make it a more condensed class, you can bring to the students more than one prompt in different topics, and you ask them in groups to write 3 to 4 introductions, and the kids or the students, they start to hear each other regarding different prompts. Of course, we have tons of prompts online about the environment, about education, about university life, about social life, a lot of prompts online. You can bring them to your board, divide your students into groups, ask them to brainstorm only introductory paragraph together, and look at the nice ideas you will have. So the following lesson, in your writing lesson, you will go now healthy. If I am in a healthy atmosphere, I will work healthier. So I will go here and I will tell you to write this. To write this, we need to take, for example, here, 3 sticky notes, and I will tell you why. And the third one, I will take it here. Okay, to write this, there is a very nice technique called the T, just a second, called the T, and here, just here, we will put the T letter. Let me put it in a text, it is better. So it's called the TIC. Let's see what is the TIC. The TIC refers to the topic. Just a second, please. TIC refers to the topic, and here, illustration, and here, conclusion. Conclusion. So I always tell my students, take the tech. We have 3 ticks. So this is tick 1, and we will take Tech 2, sorry, this is all Tech 1, like T1, I1, C1, and then we will have also Tech 2 here, which means the second idea. What does this mean? What is the topic, the illustration, and the conclusion? As we all English teachers, we know that we start any paragraph, not only the essay, but also the paragraphs. Each paragraph should contain or must contain a topic sentence and a conclusion sentence that look like each other. So here, for example, my topic sentence will be about being healthy in work atmosphere. Being healthy in the work atmosphere. Okay? And, or at work, let's say. It is better. And here, the conclusion also will be about being healthy at work. We will just rephrase this sentence. What should the illustration contain? It should contain two things. First, it should contain details and also examples. So what details and what examples should I include? Here, you need to bring some details from real life, maybe, from your life, maybe, from other people around, from statistics you have heard somewhere. And you need to bring also examples. How is that? Let's say, I will write now the topic sentence, or I will talk about it. Being healthy, first of all, being healthy at work means a lot to me. And after that, you can say, because when I am stressed at work, normally I get nervous at home, and that affects my life. For example, last month, we had, I don't know, a problem at work. There was a fight between two employees, whatever. And the atmosphere at work was very bad for the whole week. And it really affected my home. I became nervous and I couldn't speak to anyone. So now you are bringing something from your real life. Maybe you can write a statistic. And some of the students, they are asking me, how about if I don't know real numbers or real percentage? What can I do in an IELTS exam or something? They don't care about the correct number, if it is correct or not. They care about how the usage of language. How do you use the language inside your exam or your writing? So as you are stating that statistics in a correct sentence, they don't care if it is correct or not. No one will do a research after your essay. So maybe you can say here, for example, first of all, to work in a healthy atmosphere means a lot to me. The research say that 70% of people who are working in unhealthy atmosphere, that might affect their special life or private life. For example, and you can give an example from, for example, my friend, blah, 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 and you can give an example about your friend. So here we go. We can calculate together how many sentences we are writing in this paragraph. If we start at the topic sentence, this is one sentence, or it can be two sentences. Let's say it is one sentence. Then we started the illustration. It can be two sentences in details, two sentences in examples, and finally, one sentence of conclusion. That paragraph would make 5 sentences. I believe it is easy for the teacher to, or even any student after practicing, it is easy to write 5 sentences in each paragraph. Of course, that doesn't come like that, guys. It comes by practice. Writing is really, really challenging part in the language because it is productive and it needs to be according to some rules. So that's why we say, show the students the rubric at the beginning. Okay, so let's say that we finished Tech 1 and Tech 2. What should I do after that? We go to the conclusion now, okay? We are writing now a conclusion.
So as exactly we wrote the conclusion to each paragraph, we are going to write the conclusion to our whole essay. So what happens now? I go to my introductory paragraph and I try to rephrase it to be a conclusion for my essay. And one more point, if you are writing especially an opinion essay, it is really nice to end by an advice or call for action. Okay? Advice like, for example, at the end, you can say, that's why I advise everyone to choose a healthy atmosphere to work in. We live once, for example. Or you can call for action. How? Like when I say, so go and find a good atmosphere or a healthy atmosphere job. You are using the order like go, do, write, read. This is the call for action. So either advice or call for action at the end of your conclusion. I brought you an example here. Let's go and revise it together because our last step should be revision. When you are revising, normally, you put or you are checking, you put what you have written and you put the rubric in front of you. And you start to compare. Did I do this? Did I do that? Every one of us would like to take a full mark. But as we know, as we are not native speakers of the language, believe me, even if you are a native speaker, it is really challenging to get the full mark in writing. You may get the full mark in speaking, but in writing, it is quite challenging. So after you write, you need to revise yourself on the highest standard in the rubric and to find out your mistakes and fix them. If you can't see that, if you can't do that, or if you do it and you don't trust yourself, ask a friend to check for you. And if you are practicing that, it is better to find a peer with you, someone who would practice that always and always with you. And I really, really advise all the English teachers to practice writing together in the school, just to write the essays and to show each other. It is really important for them. So let's look at this essay, for example. It's about the salary and so on, but here in that essay, he prefers the salary more than the job satisfaction. So as we see here, let's analyze that. It is like 4 paragraphs, as we see. The first paragraph is an introductory paragraph. The last paragraph is the conclusion. The 2 paragraphs in the middle, each one is discussing only one idea. And this is a big mistake that everyone does when he writes an essay. That people believe that if I write a lot of ideas, it means I am creative and they will give me the best mark. This is not correct. They don't evaluate your ideas. They don't care even about your idea. As I told you, they care about the usage of the language. If you say that I prefer the good job atmosphere because I like to play with monkeys every day, they would never care about that idea. The most important is that you are expressing it in a good way or in good language. So as we see here, the 2 paragraphs, I will send them to you so you can analyze them one by one, piece by piece, and compare them to here. And I am with you on the Telegram group, by the way. If anyone would like to practice writing and send it to me, share it with me, we can just fix it to each other. We can take a look at it. We can even create a study group, by the way, for writing academic essays, articles, and to share them in magazines. Let's grow up together. So here is the final, this is the final essay here. One last point I would like to mention to you about the number of words. I have seen many students who are counting the number of words. This is totally not correct. You should count only one line. one line. For example, with my handwriting, I know that I write in each line 12 words. So I just count how many lines I have wrote or I have written. So when I just write, I don't know, for example, let's say 10 lines, it means you multiply it by 12. It means that I wrote about 220 to 230 words. So I still have some words more to write. Okay. Very, very final advice I would like to give you. Spend long time in thinking, brainstorming, and organizing your ideas. It is way better. You will take no time in writing. You will take a lot of time in thinking and organizing your ideas in your mind or on your mind map. It is way better. Okay, so here we go. We have now 7 steps that can be done in 7 days in your classes by microlearning. I don't have to show the prompt to my students in the class and tell them, write an essay, write an essay about this prompt. This is not teaching. Okay, really, this is not, you will see no productivity from your students. You need to do that in 7 steps or 7 days. Take it with them, let them take their time. And after that, after you finish the 7, you can really comfortably tell an opinion essay about, for example, is it better to get high education or to go immediately to work? So that time they will be ready. They know the steps, they know the rubric, they have studied that before. They will write you a very amazing essays. Okay, that's all from me, and I hope that it was informative and useful for you. I can start receiving your questions or whatever the comments you want to mention. I think Miss Zohru is with us. Who is here, guys? Okay.
Yes, definitely. We are with you. Yes, here we have Fernando, who raised his hands. He wanted to ask something, please, Fernando.
Yes, definitely.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Nice to be with you guys again. It's not really a question. I would just like to point out 2 things I consider important when writing essays. I mean, I've been preparing students for the TOEFL for the past 35 years, more or less, and for the IELTS, more or less, the same time. And one of the things that that teachers need to consider, which I think is really, really, really important, is how students write in their native language in relation to how they're expected to write for the American style. For example, Latinos have a very, very hard time with items such as parallelism. They consider this redundant, as well as the conclusion. You know, the way Latinos write conclusions are totally different from the way Americans write the conclusion. So this is something that needs to be taken into consideration by the teacher. Something else, many teachers believe that just writing is going to improve the skills that students have. That's not true also. Students need to be given information, as you said, little by little. This information has to be processed in a certain time. Writing is the last stage of a natural learning process. So it's not the easiest. On the other hand, it's one of the most complicated ones. Even though you have control of what you're doing and you can stop and think, there are many elements that are involved to produce a good essay. And it takes time for students to internalize all the information you're giving to them. And they need that information. You have to get them to vary with the grammatical structure. You have to get them to use low frequency words. You have to get them to be able to use time markers, connectors. There's many elements that need to be added little by little and in a long period of time. Okay, that's what I suggest people to do when they're writing for essays. I mean, the students that I prepare for the TOEFL, they get results when they do this. Many students, many teachers believe that just writing essays is going to help students. Or many students also believe that just writing, they're going to improve. If a student just writes, he's not going to improve at all. He's just going to continue writing the same way he is. Needs to be added information little by little, a gradual way, bring relatively not short, not long also, because you don't have enough time to do that, but in a gradual way, bring a course, you know? This is really, really important. But the most important thing I think is identify what learning styles or what writing styles students have that are different from the American ones, so that you start to you try to train your students to start writing the American way. If they don't do this, when they start writing, their brain will switch to their native way. They'll end up writing as they always do. And that's something you have to try to change a certain way if you want them to get a high score on the MET TOEFL, for instance.
Yes, totally agree with you, Mr. Fernando. The last meeting we had was about the steps of teaching writing, and we talked that it should start from primary, from young ages. Kids should be given some photos or some flashcards, and they start writing about it, sentences, and then the sentences grow to be two sentences, 4 sentences, then we connect them together. Then we learn to write an introduction and a conclusion. As you said exactly, sir, it's a long process, and it should take long time with the child since he is young, and to apply all the grammar they are studying into the writing. Because as I see in most of the classes, teachers and even students, they are separating what they learn in grammar and vocabulary from the other skills. They consider grammar a separate subject.
Yeah, you know, I do something like this. You know, for example, I want my students to start using connectors, for example. Usually they use the same ones, but I want them to use something more, how can I say this? Less frequent, more low-frequent connectors.
Yeah,
so then
high level.
I introduce the connectors, we work them on a sentence basis, and then we spend 2 weeks writing essays, giving focus on connectors. Then the next, after 2 weeks, I introduce another topic. I introduce parallelism, relative connectors and parallelism. We focus on that. Then we spend 2 more weeks writing 4 or 5 essays with correlative connectors and normal connectors. Then I introduce time markers. We try to add them. Then I introduce modal verbs. We try to add them, and then little by little, we start enriching their vocabulary, their lexical and semantic content.
That also hits the point of the constructive feedback as well. Teacher needs to give a constructive feedback.
It's something. It's very gratifying when you get a student, and after 3 months, you see that they really improve their writing because these little things, right? I mean, this is really important. It's something nice. It's difficult for the teacher because there's a lot of work, right? You start correcting. It's not easy. Correcting essays is very complicated. Something really important when correcting essays, when you're correcting the essays to the students, I always advise teachers to use colors. Like, for example, okay, use yellow to identify the topic sentence. Use green to identify the supporting facts. Circle connectors. Underline low-frequency vocabulary so that students can start realizing if they are indeed or not using what you are telling them, right? This is something also that's really important. Make the essay also a map for the students, right? I mean, I'm not talking about the conceptual map the students use to brainstorm. I'm talking about the feedback you give to the students. When giving feedback, you use colors on their essays so that they see, you know, if they're changing, if they're missing something, if they're not. Let's say that a student writes an essay, that's a beautiful topic, but he has no supporting facts in his essay. So, something's missing here, you know? And then he starts to think about this, and then he starts correcting his mistakes. It's a nice process. I really like this, you know? Thank you. Sorry for interrupting you, okay?
No, dear, thank
Yeah, thank you so much,
for
Mr.
your information.
Fernando.
This is amazing. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and also we have some more questions here, like what roles does technology play in micro learning?
For the technology and microlearning, of course, the very big thing that we can find in technology is a lot of applications that help you as a teacher to follow the microlearning methodology. For example, all of us, we know Duolingo. Duolingo is following the microlearning. There is another application, for example, called Drops, which gives you drops of vocabulary every day. And if you put the drop in the bottle, it means you learned it. If you don't put it in the bottle, it means you are still learning that vocabulary, and it shows to you every day on your mobile phone. There are a lot of applications that follow microlearning style. And by the way, microlearning is not only in education. Hello?
Yes, Miss Marwa, we can hear you. Yes, go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Microlearning even is not only in education, but it is also in companies and in businesses. They are following that. For example, in HR department are following technique, like the steps of interviewing and whatever. You can read more about that. So you can find a lot of applications, a lot of technological things that would help you to apply the microlearning.
Thank you so much. And here was another question. Is it important to use any academic words maybe they meant in their writing? Is it important to use many academic words? Yeah.
Of course. As we heard now, some of the students, they are writing in very weak language. For example, they use and all the time. But we have a lot of words or vocabulary that you can put it instead of and. We have furthermore, we have besides, we have a lot of words. So it is really important for you as a teacher to help your students to raise the level of their vocabulary. And this is available online, by the way. You don't have to pay any effort. You don't have to bring a dictionary, for example, and look for a synonym or something. There are a lot of helping material online that would help you to raise the level of the vocabulary. Regarding microlearning, let me include that as well. Instagram, TikTok are ways of microlearning. So there are a lot of accounts, for example, on Instagram or TikTok that are giving you the weak vocabulary and the stronger one, the weak word and the stronger one. For example, instead of and, you can use furthermore. Instead of because, you can use since. So it has a lot of words that are weak, or let's say low level, and you can use a higher level vocabulary. You need to raise the awareness among your students about that.
Yeah, thank you. And there is another question. What are the future trends in micro teaching?
Actually, guys, as last time we discussed Generation Z and Alpha, if you remember, the coming future is with Generation Alpha, and they are learning everything by their phones, their tablets, and they all have almost Instagram accounts, Facebook and TikTok, and they are learning a lot from there. Even us now, we are learning, for example, how to cook something in 30 minutes, 30 seconds on TikTok or something. So the future is with microlearning, because the kids now, they are programmed to learn everything quickly, and they don't have the patience to sit in front of you for a long time, and their focus span is getting really less than before. So if you are a teacher that want really to approach all the students you have in your class, you need to learn how to cut your lesson into chunks and or small chunks, and how to teach them one by one, and how to be patient with them. Because all the future is with this methodology, I believe. They are used to it from now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Marwa. And the last question here is it important not to repeat the words which you have already mentioned in the first paragraph of your writing, or is it compulsory to use their synonyms?
Of course, it is better to use different synonyms or different vocabulary and not to be repetitive, because when you do that, it shows how rich your language is, and it shows the number of vocabulary you have. Many of the English courses books, it has the number or the volume of vocabulary it will teach you. For example, they say, you can look at this information, or you can search it online. For example, A1 student should know from 1,000 to 1,500 words. A2 or B1 students, they should learn 2,500 new words. So if you are going, for example, to the IELTS or the TOEFL or whatever, and you are repeating the vocabulary all the time, of course, that would cause a decrease in your mark. But you need to learn how to use different synonyms, how to rephrase, by the way. For example, this is a whole lesson that I usually spend with my students, rephrasing. So you just give them a sentence and you ask them to rephrase the sentence, or an introduction and you ask them to rephrase that introduction. This is long effort. This is a lot of work with the students, and it needs a lot of patience, by the way. And you as a teacher, you need to practice that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Marwa. Yes, for your wonderful webinar. As usual, very engaging, interesting, informative. And thank you very much, dear audience, for your active participation. And thanks a lot, Ms. Marwa,
Thank you, Ms.
for doing a great job for us. Yes, we really appreciate that. And we look forward for more webinars with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
dear audience. Enjoy your evening, and we can ask any questions on the group. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, have a nice evening too. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.